Anyway, we'll see. But I always worry. I I I worry when I've not heard about it. I'm telling you, all of you heard about it. I've heard nothing about this. I worry when I haven't heard stuff that like how much the message is getting out there. We'll see. In any case, as I said, tomorrow Friday it's the cherry blossoms. Let's see. I'm not convinced it's going to be a very good time to protest, but we shall see. Any case, let's get rolling, guys. So thank you for joining today. There's a ton of news. My notes are too long. I'm going to see. I may cut stuff as we go through. There's just a ton of news today. Um, Trump is playing games with Iran again. Not at all clear what's going on with Iran. I mean, he tacoed again today. He totally flip flopped again. Um, I, you can't trust him on any of this stuff. Unfortunately, obviously, we know that. We know that. I'm gonna yawn at you too. I got up early. But very hard to know what the hell's going on with Trump. But let's get rolling. So Trump, I didn't even know he he tacoed again on his deadline to blow up Iran's energy facilities. What I had not realized was he had already tacoed like once in between. So Trump Trump had said in 48 hours, I'm going to blow up Iran's energy plants unless they open the Strait of Hormuz. And then 48 hours came and he said, okay, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Because they're really being good about negotiating, and Iran goes, we're not negotiating. So that was the first taco. I missed the beginning of the second taco, which is he then turned around and said, but now there's a new timetable. In X number of days, I'm going to blow up Iran's energy plants. Well, that was coming up shortly, maybe even tomorrow. I don't even know. No, I don't even know. It might have been coming up Monday. I don't even know when that was coming up. But that one was coming up soon. And today he tacoed on the second threat to blow up Iran's energy plants and said, the negotiations are going so well. Again, same thing, that we're going to postpone until April 6th. April 6th will be the day that we blow up all of Iran's energy plants. He's just bullshitting at this point. A couple problems here. As people have pointed out, blowing up Iran's energy plants would be a war crime. You're not allowed to blow up civilian structures. It would be literally a war crime. And every single member of the U.S. military who followed that order would potentially go to jail for war crimes if they ever step foot out of the United States. So there's that problem. The other thing is a lot of people think he's just delaying the inevitable. He's planning a war. Everything points to he's planning a land invasion of Iran. Very dangerous, very deadly. Really not clear what the point is of all of this. But I, I, I don't. I mean, okay, it's Donald Trump, which means literally flit, 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 right? 3 day, 2 day, 1 day warning, deadline, this, that. I mean, everything's flitty, 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 bouncy, bouncy, right? That's him. Nothing he says matters. He's a liar. But hello, Sadie. I've never seen that one before. That's cute. That was very cute. Thank you, Sadie. That was very funny. It was sort of like Ebenezer Scrooge ish, but in Greek colors, exactly. He's a pathological liar, so you can't trust what he says. The other problem with Trump is he also is a what's the word I'm looking for? Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, somebody who doesn't keep their word. But what I mean by this is, I think A, Trump lies all the time. B, sometimes he tells the truth, but there's no moral compass and there's no moral code. Or actually, maybe this is probably no ethical code, is my guess, for telling the truth, for keeping a promise. Actually, that's what I mean, keeping a promise. There's no ethical code. So he could tell you that this is what we're doing, but 2 days later, he'll change his mind because he owes you nothing. He doesn't, I think it's unethical. I think it might even be unethical, not even immoral, because he'll legitimately tell you a promise, but he won't keep it because he'll change his mind later. And there's no ethical rules inside of the man that tell him, hey, you should keep a promise. You should keep a treaty. You should keep a commitment, right? This is why the NATO stuff is so dangerous. He's never going to defend any of you guys. This is why all the trade treaties you're making with him are bullshit. Thank you, Jocelyn. He's never going to abide by them. I mean, he might not. It depends how he feels that day, what he eats for lunch, how many bowls of ice cream. But there's no moral or ethical core to him that says, the United States has made this commitment, we must keep it. I mean, literally, there's no, right? So that's what makes it hard with all this Iran stuff is the deadline could be real, doesn't really matter. He lies, and he doesn't care as well. So he might mean the deadline today, doesn't mean he'll meet it tomorrow. I think he's going to war. I think we're going to have a land invasion at this point. It's possible he reaches some agreement with Iran. I don't think so. As of today, I think we're invading. We're having a land invasion, and it's going to be a mess. The real concern, okay, a couple different things, actually. One of the reasons Trump is postponing the bombing of all the electrical plants in Iran is he's claiming that, remember we talked about this yesterday, remember? Iran did an amazing thing. Iran gave us gifts. Gifts I can't tell you about because it would ruin it. And then we found out the gifts were things we already heard about, that tankers were allegedly going through the Strait of Hormuz. Well, Bloomberg just did a story that said, actually, those tankers, Trump said Iran allowed tankers to go through the Strait of Hormuz as a thank you to us. It didn't happen. Bloomberg says there's no evidence that it happened. He was lying. Either he was lying or Iran effed him over and Iran lied to him. Thank you, Marsha. But like there is no way to judge what the hell's going on with this war because this guy's word means nothing. No. Not coincidentally, the stock market dropped 1.7% today, its largest drop since the war started. Thank you, son, for the gifts. I think that's why he extended this deadline to bomb them as well. He is so freaked out about the stock market. I mean, totally freaked out about the stock market. Anytime it goes down, Trump has to taco and just totally cave. The other thing is, Axios is at the same time reporting that Trump and the Pentagon are planning the final blow to end the Iran war. It will be crushing. We will destroy them. And it includes possibly sending ground troops, a huge bombing campaign. Thank you again, Annie, for that one. I love that. Thank you, Marsha, as well. Bombing campaign, blocking ships carrying Iranian oil, taking over Iranian oil export hubs and islands. And, dog, you want to come through again? I don't know what you want from me. Sasha, what are you doing? Sorry, my dog's having a hard time today. She's just getting, little. You just want to stand there? Okay, sorry. You all right? You want to come through? Can you come through? There you go. Okay. Sorry. Dog's having issues today. She's just she's walking okay, but she's just I think she's just being difficult. I don't know. Sorry. My dog is a senior and she's been having some issues recently. But she squeezed half through. She likes to climb under my microphone stand. It's a tripod. And of course, what's the best way is climbing under a tripod, not walking around it. And she just got kind of stuck. So that's what that was. Me looking down and going, I think she's a little stuck. So sorry about that, guys. I know she's making me feel bad because it is kind of sad. She's getting up there, All right? You all right? So at the same time all of this is being talked about, they're clearly planning something big. They're admitting to the press. They're possible. And again, maybe this is disinformation. Maybe it's a lie. But supposedly they're planning on, thank you, Max. Thank you for that, for the Sasha gifts. Oh, good. We got the stupid AI is back on TikTok again. Thanks, TikTok, because, whoever programmed that must have been really smart to think, hey, let's have an AI that spits out the same thing repeatedly every other line in really busy chats, because that would be really fun. It's telling me to give you all a shout out again. Oh, man. TikTok, I'm telling you. So here's my concern. We've talked about this before. Thank you, Daria. Trump is going to go and blow up all of Iran's oil again? Really? We're going to take over their oil export terminals and we're going to take over their tankers? Really? And you don't think Iran is going to respond by, thank you, Julie. You don't think Iran is going to respond by blowing up Saudi Arabia's oil fields? And Bahrain's and Qatar's and UAE's and everybody else's, Dubai, and going after their natural gas? And why the hell wouldn't they? Of course they're going to. They already have. Twice. We've already twice had Trump say, no one could have imagined that when we attacked Iran's energy, they would attack the energy of their neighbors. Twice now he said this. The first time was total bullshit because, as I said, I've studied this stuff. A freshman in college studying the Middle East and studying war with Iran is going to hear Big concern is Iran shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's oil goes through. Thank you, Luis. So bullshit that he didn't know. Second of all, a week later, actually not even a week, like 4 days later, he said it again. No, it happened again. No one told me. And you're like, okay, are you going senile? Like, you literally 4 days ago said, no one told me that if we attacked Iran's energy, they would attack the energy of the Saudi Arabians. And then a couple days later, it happened again. They attacked the Israelis attacked a natural gas field in Iran. So the Iranians said, fuck you. And they attacked one in, I think it was Bahrain or Qatar. I forget which. Might have been Qatar, actually. And Trump yet again said, whoa, no one told me the Iranians would do that. You're like, well, if you actually are having dementia problems and you literally can't remember what people are telling you, that might be an explanation why you don't remember 4 days ago that the same thing happened, and you don't remember that for your briefings, they told you it would happen. So taking us back to this again, if we go after Iran's energy, they're gonna go after the energy in the region. And again, oil prices going through the roof. They've already doubled. They're going to go through much more. The other problem is, and I was reading more about this today, if we have a land war, like we try to take over these islands and things, everyone is saying, A, it's going to be very hard. The Iranians are going to blow the crap out of our Marines. And it's open air. Like it's an island that's like 15 miles, one of them is 15 miles off of Iran. And Iran's going to be on the coast just bombing us like D-Day style as we come into this island practically, right? Second of all, what I was reading said, A, you're in the boats coming to the island or planes coming to the island, right? You get off the boat and they're bombing you. You get on the shore and they're bombing you. You run across the shore and they're bombing you. You get into the field and they're bombing you. There's no like forest there. And then you get in the only shelter that exists and they're bombing you. So that happens, right? That's the first thing. Then let's say our Marines survive weeks and weeks and weeks of sitting exposed, being bombed by the Iranians. How do we leave? What if Iran just says, we're not leaving, right? We're not giving up. We're not gonna open up the Strait of Hormuz. Then what do we do? Are we permanently occupying Iran? Is that, another forever war? Who could have thunk it, right? Are we leaving and letting Iran, thank you, Lamb Chops, speaking of Lamb Chops, are we leaving and letting Iran just basically keep the strait closed forever? Or Iran said today, what it's planning on doing, Iran is planning on setting up a permanent toll on the Strait of Hormuz. Strait of Hormuz currently, I'd actually checked this out the other day. It's a small waterway. 20% of the world's oil and natural gas go through there. And it's, maybe 10 miles across or whatever, between the smallest point, maybe even 5 miles potentially. Thank you for that. Thank you, Jocelyn, at its smallest point. And the Strait of Hormuz is actually Iranian water and Oman, water belonging to Iran, water belonging to Oman and Iran. Hard to say both of those. But under international law, ships are allowed to pass through. They're not, neither country can stop international shipping from going through. But they also can't stop you and charge you a toll for it. Like, that's not allowed either. And Iran is now saying that's what they're going to do next. They're going to charge a toll. Thank you, Andrea. They're going to charge a toll, or Andrea. They're going to charge a toll for any ships trying to go through the Strait of Hormuz. That would be very bad. That would mean Iran would control 20% of the world's oil. That would be very, very, very bad. We did not have that going into this war. What else we got here? Russia is reportedly sending drones to Iran. Russia told Trump that they weren't helping Iran at all. And remember, Trump and his people said, oh, the Russians told us they weren't helping. We take them at their word. Well, taking the Russian at their word has now set up a situation where U.S. troops could be killed. There's a surprise. No one could have seen that one coming. Trump claimed today the war. All of these stories matter because they all show how screwed up he is, how disastrous this war potentially could be. Trump claimed today that we are way ahead of schedule. And again, there's something wrong with this guy. Okay, listen. Thank you, Max. Thank you for the gifts. Listen to this, right? We're way ahead of schedule, Trump said today. He said, we estimated it would take approximately 4 to 6 weeks to achieve our goals. Okay? Listen, I want you to do the math here. You know how long a week is? 7 days. We estimated it would take 4 to 6 weeks to achieve our goals. 26 days in, we're really a lot ahead of schedule. Way ahead of schedule. The schedule was 28 to, 6 times 3 is 42. 28 to 42 days was the schedule. Between 28 and 42 days, the war would go. We're at day 26 of 28. Thank you, Max. Appreciate it. I don't have the thing up today. I got to put it up there. Hang on a second. Where's the viewer? There it is. There it is. Oh, it's the Trump wig. Thank you. Thank you for that. Do you get what he did? There we go. Trump said today that we're way ahead of schedule. The war was supposed to take a minimum of 28 days, but it's already been 26 days, he said, so we're way ahead of schedule. The schedule was the war was supposed to end as early as 2 days from now. How is the fact that we're pretty much at that point way ahead of that point? We're not way ahead of 28 days, right? 28 days was the prediction. It's the 26th day. And he said, we're way ahead now because look, it's day 26, but I said it might take 28 days and it's only 26. So we're way ahead. And he didn't say we're ending the war today. He simply said, there's something wrong with this guy. That's the weird thing with all of this. There's something wrong with him. With this, he's trying to do this kind of analysis, right? It's completely fucked up. He didn't say 6 to 8 weeks. Actually, you're wrong. He said 4 to 6 weeks. And actually, his quote today, by the way, whoever said that on TikTok, I'm not sure where you got that from. Let me read you Trump's quote today. So we estimated it would take approximately 4 to 6 weeks. If you know your math, I don't know, maybe you don't. 4 to 6 weeks actually means 4 to 6 weeks. Just what she said. I win. So that's our boy. Things are going so well that Republicans on the Hill are preparing to cut healthcare spending. That's the latest plan. The latest Republican plan to fund the war is to cut healthcare. They're talking about gutting Obamacare, taking more money from Obamacare. They've already cut money from Obamacare. Remember, a lot of our premiums are going to be doubled because Trump and everybody